The lazier you are at these 5 things, the happier you'll be in old age. If you're over 60 and constantly exhausted trying to keep up with everything, you might be working hard at all the wrong things. What if I told you that being lazy in certain areas could actually add years to your life and joy to your days? For decades, we've been taught that hard work and constant effort are the keys to a good life. But here's the truth nobody tells you. Some of the happiest seniors aren't the ones who do the most. They're the ones who've figured out what not to do. Today, you're going to discover 5 surprising areas where doing less is actually the secret to living more. This isn't about giving up or being irresponsible. It's about being smart with your energy and your time. If you've been feeling worn down by obligations that don't bring you joy, this video is for you. Stay with me because what I'm about to share could change everything about how you approach your golden years. Today, I'm revealing 5 surprising areas where doing less is actually the secret to living more in your senior years. I'll show you why these habits drain your energy and steal your happiness, what science and psychology say about the power of letting go, and practical steps you can take starting today. We'll cover the exhausting trap of perfectionism that keeps you cleaning when you could be living, the comparison game that robs you of contentment, the dangerous habit of saying yes to everything, the overwhelming world of health trends that actually make you less healthy, and the ultimate freedom that comes from stopping worry about others' opinions. Number 4 will probably surprise you because it goes against everything we've been taught about staying healthy. And number 5, it's the secret most people only discover in their 80s, but you're going to learn it right now. Make sure you stay until the end, because I'll share the one thing all 5 of these have in common, the hidden key to genuine happiness in old age. Let's dive in and discover why being strategically lazy might be the smartest thing you do this year. 1. Stop being perfect about your home. Let's start with something that affects almost everyone over 60. The obsession with maintaining a spotless magazine-worthy home. If you're spending hours each day cleaning, organizing and maintaining your house to perfection, you need to hear this. That exhausting standard you're holding yourself to, it's stealing your happiness and your health. Think about it. How many times have you cancelled plans with friends because you needed to clean first? How often have you felt anxious about someone dropping by unexpectedly? How much energy do you pour into scrubbing floors that don't need scrubbing, dusting shelves that aren't dusty, or organising closets that are already organised? This isn't just about cleanliness. It's about an outdated belief that your worth is tied to your home's appearance. Here's what research shows. Seniors who maintain extremely high housekeeping standards report higher stress levels and lower life satisfaction than those who adopt a more relaxed approach. The energy you spend on perfectionism is energy you're not spending on activities that actually improve your quality of life, like walking in nature, calling an old friend, or pursuing a hobby you love. Let me share what happened to Margaret, a 72-year-old who spent 3 hours every morning cleaning her 3-bedroom house. She vacuumed daily, washed windows weekly, and reorganized her pantry monthly. She was exhausted, isolated, and wondering why retirement felt so joyless. When her daughter suggested she hire a cleaning service for deep cleaning once a month and adopt a good enough approach for daily maintenance, Margaret resisted. But after trying it for just 1 month, everything changed. She joined a book club, started watercolour painting, and reconnected with neighbours. Her home wasn't perfect, But it was clean enough, safe enough, and comfortable enough. And she was finally happy. So here's your actionable advice. Implement the good enough cleaning method. Focus only on safety and basic comfort. Vacuum high traffic areas once or twice a week instead of daily. Clean bathrooms for hygiene, but skip the deep scrubbing unless actually needed. Let go of dusting decorative items weekly. Monthly is fine. Consider downsizing possessions so there's simply less to maintain. And here's the big one. Give yourself permission to have a lived-in home rather than a showroom. Your home should serve you, not enslave you. The dust will always return. The floors will get dirty again. But the afternoon you spent laughing with a grandchild instead of scrubbing grout? That's irreplaceable. Have you been trapped in the perfectionism cycle with your home? Tell us in the comments how much time you spend on housekeeping each week. But hold on, because what I'm about to share next involves something even more exhausting than house cleaning, and you probably do it without even realizing it. 2. Quit keeping up with others. Here's a hard truth. One of the most exhausting things you can do in your senior years is try to keep up with what everyone else is doing, buying, or achieving. This comparison game is a happiness killer, and it's time to get lazy about it. Think about the last time you felt you needed something new. A home renovation, a newer car, the latest technology, or even a vacation. Not because you genuinely wanted it, but because someone else had it. Maybe it was your neighbour's new SUV, your friend's kitchen remodel, or the exotic trips your former co-workers post on social media. This constant measuring of your life against others creates a treadmill of desire that never stops. You work harder, spend more, and stress constantly, all to maintain an image or standard that doesn't even reflect your true values. The research on this is clear. Social comparison is directly linked to decreased life satisfaction, increased anxiety, and even depression among older adults. Every time you compare your life to someone else's highlight reel, you're training your brain to focus on what you lack instead of what you have. And here's the really insidious part. The comparison never ends. There will always be someone with more money, better health, nicer possessions, or more active social lives. Let me tell you about Robert, a 68-year-old retired executive. For years after retirement, he maintained a luxury car lease, expensive golf club membership, and designer wardrobe. Not because these things brought him joy, but because that's what successful people in his circle did. He was spending his retirement savings at an alarming rate and feeling stressed about money constantly. Then his wife asked him a simple question. If nobody knew about these things, would you still want them? The answer was no. Robert sold the luxury car and bought a reliable used sedan. He quit the expensive golf club and started playing at a public course where he made genuine friends. He donated half his wardrobe and dressed for comfort. Within 6 months, his stress decreased dramatically, his savings stabilized, and ironically, his relationships improved because he stopped performing and started being authentic. Here's your actionable strategy for comparison laziness. First, do a social media audit. Unfollow or mute accounts that trigger feelings of inadequacy or desire. You don't need to see every perfect vacation, home makeover, or achievement. Second, practice the so what test. When you feel the urge to buy or do something because others have, ask yourself, so what if I don't have this? How will it actually affect my daily happiness? Third, identify your core values. What truly matters to you, independent of others' opinions. Maybe it's time with family, creative pursuits, or simple pleasures. Align your spending and time with those values, not with keeping up appearances. Fourth, decline social events and obligations that feel performative rather than enjoyable. It's okay to skip the reunion, the holiday party, or the group trip if it's motivated by obligation rather than genuine desire. The freedom that comes from quitting the comparison game is profound. Your bank account will thank you, your stress will decrease, and you'll finally have space to discover what you actually want. Have you freed yourself from trying to impress others? Share your liberation story in the comments below. Now, number 3 is about something you probably do multiple times every day, and it's draining your energy faster than almost anything else. 3. Be lazy about saying yes. If your calendar is packed with commitments, obligations, and events that drain rather than energize you, it's time to master the art of being lazy about saying yes. This might be the most important skill you learn in your senior years. Here's what happens to many people over 60. Decades of being reliable, helpful, and accommodating have created a pattern where yes is your automatic response. Someone needs help moving? Yes. Volunteer for another committee? Yes. Babysit the grandkids every weekend? Yes. Attend every family gathering, friends party and community event? Yes, yes, yes. And suddenly you're exhausted, resentful, and wondering where your retirement went. You're busier now than when you were working. But unlike work, these commitments don't come with a paycheck or clear boundaries. The psychology here is important. Many seniors struggle with saying no because they fear being seen as selfish, unhelpful, or less valuable. But here's the reality. Every time you say yes to something that doesn't align with your priorities or energy levels, you're saying no to something that might actually bring you joy and fulfillment. Your time and energy are finite resources, more precious now than ever. Protecting them isn't selfish, it's essential. Consider what happened to Linda, a 65-year-old grandmother. She was watching her grandchildren 4 days a week, volunteering at church twice weekly, running errands for elderly neighbours, and serving on 2 community boards. She loved her family and wanted to help, but she was perpetually exhausted, had given up her hobbies, and was experiencing health issues from stress. When her doctor suggested she was overcommitted, Linda felt guilty even considering cutting back. But with support, she implemented boundaries. Grandchildren 2 days a week, instead of 4, stepped down from 1 board, and reduced church volunteering to once weekly. The result? Her health improved. She rediscovered her love of gardening, and ironically, she was more present and joyful during the commitment she kept. Her family noticed she was happier, and her grandchildren got a more energetic, engaged grandmother. Here's your actionable approach to saying no without guilt. First, implement the pause before yes technique. When someone asks you for something, respond with, "Let me check my calendar and get back to you," or "I need to think about that." This 24-hour buffer gives you time to consider whether the commitment truly aligns with your priorities. Second, create a personal mission statement for your senior years. What do you actually want this phase of life to be about? Use this as your filter. If a request doesn't support your mission, it's easier to decline. Third, develop polite but firm phrases. "I appreciate you thinking of me, but I'm not able to commit to that right now," or "I'm prioritizing my energy differently these days, so I'll have to pass." You don't owe lengthy explanations. Fourth, remember that no is a complete sentence, though adding brief context can help. "I'm not available that day," or That doesn't work with my current schedule. The transformation that happens when you become selective about your commitments is remarkable. You'll have space to breathe, energy for activities you actually enjoy, and better quality interactions because you're not spread too thin. What's something you wish you'd said no to? Share in the comments. Your story might help someone else find the courage to set boundaries. Now, get ready for number 4, because this one challenges everything we've been told about staying healthy in our senior years. 4. Stop chasing every health trend. This might surprise you, but one of the healthiest things you can do after 60 is to stop obsessing over every new health trend, diet fad, and miracle supplement that comes along. The wellness industry wants your attention and your money. But the constant chase for the latest health breakthrough is actually making you less healthy, not more. Let's look at what's happening. Every week there's a new superfood, a revolutionary diet plan, a cutting-edge supplement, or a breakthrough exercise program. Keto, paleo, intermittent fasting, Mediterranean, plant-based, each one claiming to be the answer. Then there are supplements. CoQ10, resveratrol, turmeric, omega-3s, probiotics, collagen, and hundreds more. Add in fitness trends, HIIT, yoga, Pilates, walking programs, strength training, and you have information overload. The result? Many seniors bounce from one approach to another, never giving anything time to work, spending money on unnecessary supplements, and feeling constant anxiety about whether they're doing enough. Here's what health researchers have consistently found. The fundamentals work, and consistency beats perfection every single time. The seniors with the best health outcomes aren't the ones trying every new trend. They're the ones who stick to proven basics over the long term. Regular, moderate physical activity, a balanced diet with plenty of vegetables and lean protein, adequate sleep, stress management, social connection, and regular medical checkups. That's it. It's not exciting, it's not revolutionary, and you can't sell a $97 program teaching it. But it works. Let me tell you about James, a 70-year-old who spent thousands on supplements after watching health influencers online. His cabinet was filled with bottles, he followed complicated protocols, and he was constantly anxious about missing doses or finding the next miracle cure. Meanwhile, his actual health markers, blood pressure, cholesterol, blood sugar, were barely improving because he was inconsistent with the basics. He skipped walks because he was researching supplements. He bought expensive superfoods but still ate processed foods regularly. When his doctor suggested he simplify daily 30-minute walks, a basic Mediterranean-style diet, one quality multivitamin, and better sleep, James was skeptical. It seemed too simple. But within 3 months of consistent basics, his health markers improved more than they had in 2 years of trend chasing. He also saved hundreds of dollars monthly and felt less anxious. Here's your actionable advice for health simplicity. First, identify the proven fundamentals that work for your body and circumstances. For most seniors, this means moving your body for at least 30 minutes most days, walking counts, eating more vegetables and fruits than processed foods, drinking adequate water, getting 7 to 8 hours of sleep, and maintaining social connections. Second, before adding any supplement or starting any new diet, ask your doctor this specific question. Given my health conditions and medications, is this necessary and safe? Many supplements interact with medications or are unnecessary if you're eating adequately. Third, commit to consistency over intensity. A daily 20-minute walk you actually do beats a complicated exercise program you abandon after 2 weeks. A simple, sustainable diet beats the perfect diet you can't maintain. Fourth, be skeptical of anything claiming miraculous results. If it sounds too good to be true, it is. The freedom that comes from simplifying your health approach is extraordinary. Less mental energy spent researching and worrying means more energy for actually living. Your body doesn't need perfection, it needs consistent care. How many health trends have you tried over the years? Drop a comment and let us know. And now we've reached number 5, the ultimate freedom that most people only discover in their 80s. But you're learning it right now. 5. Quit worrying about what others think. Here's the final and perhaps most powerful area where laziness leads to happiness. Stop managing your image, stop worrying about others' opinions, and quit living for approval. This is the ultimate liberation, and it's yours for the taking right now. After 60, something remarkable happens for many people. They start caring less about what others think. But for many, this freedom comes too late, after decades wasted on image management and approval-seeking. What if you could access this freedom now, in your 60s and 70s, when you still have energy to enjoy it? The truth is, you can. It just requires getting deliberately lazy about something you've probably worked hard at your whole life, controlling how others perceive you. Think about how much mental energy you spend on this. You dress in certain ways, not because you love the clothes, but because they're appropriate for your age. You hold back opinions because you don't want to seem difficult or controversial. You maintain certain activities or friendships because of what ending them might signal to others. You hide quirky interests or unusual hobbies because they're not normal for someone your age. You pretend to understand technology you don't understand, hide health struggles to seem capable, or maintain a lifestyle you can't afford to keep up appearances. All of this is exhausting, inauthentic, and fundamentally disconnected from genuine happiness. The research on authenticity and aging is compelling. Seniors who live authentically, who express their true preferences, opinions and personality without excessive concern for judgment, report significantly higher life satisfaction, better mental health, and even better physical health outcomes. Why? Because the stress of maintaining a false image is physically and emotionally draining. When you're free to be yourself, your nervous system can finally relax. Let me share Helen's story. At 71, she'd spent her entire life as the proper one. Conservative clothes, carefully managed opinions, acceptable hobbies. She'd always loved rock music and motorcycles, but kept these interests hidden, fearing judgment. After her husband passed, something shifted. She thought, what am I waiting for? She bought a leather jacket, went to concerts, joined a motorcycle club for seniors, and dyed her hair purple. Her adult children were shocked. Some friends were judgmental, but Helen was happier than she'd been in decades. She found a community of like-minded people, pursued passions she'd suppressed for 50 years, and stopped the exhausting work of image management. Her health improved. Lower blood pressure, better sleep, less anxiety. Living authentically had literally made her healthier. Here's your actionable strategy for opinion laziness. First, do a daily practice of small authenticity. Wear something you love but have been afraid to wear. Express an opinion you've been holding back. Pursue an interest you've been hiding. Start small and build momentum. Second, when you catch yourself making a decision based on others' potential judgment, pause and ask, what would I choose if nobody else's opinion mattered? Then choose that. Third, curate your social circle. Spend more time with people who accept the real you, and less time with those who require you to perform. It's okay to let some relationships fade if they're built on inauthenticity. Fourth, practice the 80-year-old test. Imagine yourself at 80 or 90 looking back. Will you regret taking this risk, expressing this truth, or pursuing this passion? Or will you regret playing it safe for others' comfort? The transformation that happens when you stop caring about others' opinions is profound and multidimensional. You'll feel lighter, more energetic, and more alive. You'll attract people who appreciate the real you. You'll finally pursue interests and activities that bring genuine joy. And ironically, you'll become more interesting and more respected, because authenticity is magnetic in a world full of performance. What would you do if you completely stopped caring what people thought? Share in the comments. Your answer might inspire others to claim their freedom too. Here's what all 5 of these areas have in common, and it's the secret to genuine happiness in your senior years. They're all about protecting your most precious, irreplaceable resource, your energy. Not just physical energy, but mental and emotional energy too. When you're strategic about being lazy in these 5 areas, you're not giving up or checking out. You're being wise. You're recognizing that you have limited time and energy, and you're choosing to invest those resources in what actually matters, rather than what society, habit, or fear tells you matters. Real happiness in old age isn't about doing more, achieving more, or impressing more people. It's about doing what genuinely matters to you and having the courage to let go of everything else. It's about cleaning your home enough to be comfortable, but not so much that you miss living in it. It's about spending money on what you value rather than what impresses others. It's about saying yes only to commitments that energize you and no to those that drain you. It's about sticking with health fundamentals that work rather than chasing every new trend. And ultimately, it's about living as your authentic self, rather than the carefully managed image you think others want to see. If this video opened your eyes to a completely different way of thinking about aging and happiness, do me a favor. Smash that like button right now and share this with someone who's still trying to do it all. Seriously, think of one person in your life who needs to hear that it's okay to be strategically lazy. Send them this video. It might change their life. Now, drop a comment below telling us which of these 5 things you're going to be lazier about starting today. Are you going to stop cleaning so much? Quit comparing yourself to others? Start saying no? Simplify your health routine? Or finally, stop worrying about others' opinions? Tell us in the comments. I read every single one, and your story might be exactly what someone else needs to hear. And if you want more counterintuitive, life-changing advice for living your best life after 60, click that subscribe button and hit the notification bell so you never miss a video. Trust me, what we share next week will surprise you even more than this one did.